Hello, how's everyone doing today? Hope everyone's having a good day today. When I started making videos about Revived Twitch, I had presumed that the people who might see them would have been playing the game for a while. So, although I had intended to at least make one general guide video, I thought maybe making a video like that would essentially be a waste of everyone's time. But to my surprise, there were some new players here. So first of all, welcome to our welcome to our community. Second, this video is for you. It's a guide for teams formation. In this video, we'll go through things like the characters that you should or shouldn't put together, some of the best dolls in each class, where best to use them, best teams for them, and alternative characters for them. Then after that, we'll also discuss some teams formation for the various challenges found in Revived Witch. This video's idea was suggested by Lone Alien, so thanks for that. And one last thing before we start, although I've been playing the game for a while now, I'm no expert, so if I make a mistake, feel free to correct the mistake in the comments. And yeah, let's start with the fundamental stone of a team's formation. Characters placement. The first row character will be your first line of defense. They'll be taking hits for your team, so you need dolls with high level of health and high defense. A guardian would usually be placed there, but if for whatever reason you want to ditch guardians altogether, you can use destroyers in their place. Destroyers are almost as tanky as guardians, but of course, unlike guardians, they won't protect your dolls from an enemy's attack that targets your entire team. The rest of the type don't have that high of a defense. However, once you get them to a high enough level, they may do fine in first row. Sometimes, depending on the type of enemy you're dealing with, you may need to put your tanky character, be it a guardian or destroyer, in the last row, such as the case of going against an assassin, because most of the assassins in the game have skills that specifically targets the last row doll. Now on to team synergy. Synergy between your characters is vital in elevating your team from good to great. And synergy is not simply or only achieved by putting together dolls who share the same element. Though that wouldn't be a bad start, but it's not really a necessary one. Instead, it's better to put physical dolls on a team alone and magical dolls on another. Do note that in Revived Witch, a physical or magical classification is not only limited to the damage dealers, who are typically destroyers, assassins, and mages, but the supporting characters, who are your compellers, healers, and guardians. Those supporting characters may have skills that brings them more towards the physical or magical side. Like take Arcana for instance. She's a compeller who has a skill which increases the magic damage for your entire team. Then on the other side, you have Sets, a guardian who deals physical damage and reduces the target's physical defense. So it's important to know what type of effects your character skills may have, if any. That way you can place them in a team where the rest of the team could also benefit from that skill boost or bonus effects. And speaking of bonuses, the bonus you get from having all your team be from one element, that 10 to 15 stat increase, think of it like a bonus. If you can gain it while using your best characters, then that's great. If not, then stick with your team as it is, because it's best to not replace a great character with an average one solely for that bonus. Later on, if you have a substitute character on the same level as the odd element one, then yeah, let that 15% bonus be the icing on the cake for your team. One more point regarding synergy, because besides the type of skills your characters have, another factor that should be considered when trying to achieve that is a skill's energy/chaos requirement. What I mean by that is, say for example, one of the better skills your damage dealer have requires the consumption of chaos, and your compeller has a charge and a chaos skill, then in battle you'll have to pick one skill over the other, leading to one character releasing their skill while the other remains momentarily idle. This is not an ideal situation. Instead of having to choose either or, what would be better is having the option to trigger both skills. So like using non-conflicting skills, like Maya's Chaos and Edine's Order, Maya's Chaos and Aminami's Order, Yui's Order and Caledonia's Chaos, Nasha's Order and Ashura's Chaos, and so on. So we've talked about where to place characters and why you would or wouldn't place certain characters together. Next, let's talk about when to place characters together. So the best teams formation. But before we get to that, I'll summarize the type of challenges you'll encounter in Revived Witch, so the reason behind the team's formation will be clear. In Revived Witch, I'd say there are mainly two types of challenges you'll encounter throughout the game, each of them requiring a different team setup. The first challenge you'll be met with is surviving, trying to win a battle and not let any of your characters die is strangely a goal relevant only when playing the story mode, because there you'll encounter formidable foes with plenty of health bars, but more importantly, no absurd time limits. Past story mode, you've got other game modes which 8 times out of 10 either requires you to win within a specific set time or eliminates you after a set time has passed. For example, in Path Not Taken, there is no short time constraint, but you get more rewards if you win fights under 30 to 90 seconds. On the flip side of that, you got modes like Evil Return, where rewards can be earned even if you go past 90 seconds, but there is a time constraint. If fights go over, I believe, 200 seconds, the enemy will one-shot your team and end the fight. As you can imagine, surviving for a long time is most definitely not the focus here, but a battle time is. Okay, when it comes to surviving, especially when faced with a hard-hitting boss, although assassins probably have the highest damage output, they have the lowest defense and health. So your best bet here is either physical team with a destroyer as the main DPS or a magic team. Some of the strongest destroyer dolls are Yui, Rafan, Kapla, Ella. I placed those characters with some of the typical teams you would see with them, so you can change them a bit, change the supporting cast, or if you don't have the main damage dealers, the main destroyer, then you can use the second one in line. So if you don't have Yui, you can go for Rafan. If you don't have Rafan, you can go for Kapla. And when it comes to mages, the strongest mages in the game are Shiroi, Dana, Mayuel, Oshpaya. And again, all of the teams I've shown are the typical team setup with mages. But if you're missing the mage in, for example, the first team, you can use any of the other mages because they replace the other one quite well, unlike, for example, later with assassins, where the skill requirements are different. Now, when time is the goal, the best choice would be assassins, since their skills typically require significantly less consumption while also achieving a high level of damage output. Second to assassins are mages, and lastly, destroyers. But yeah, if your goal is speed, definitely stick with assassins. Some of the best assassins are Isabel, Selenia, Mataviv, Akasha. And yeah, here maybe using the same support would not work because the skill requirement differ from one character to another. Like with Akasha and Selenia, they have roughly the same skill requirements. But with Isabel, she kinda needs Amurai because her stronger skill, her chaos skill, requires chaos, so you can use other team, I guess, but ideally you would want Amurai with her. To shorten your battle time even further, you can use dolls that boost magic damage or physical damage, which will speed up your win. Some of the best dolls who do that are Tono, Aminami, Catherine, Cher, Simbret, Dorin, Tunnel of Night. Besides the dolls that boost skill damage or damage taken or lowers the enemy's defense, you have others with skills that speed up energy regeneration or generates chaos, such as Tono, Amurai, Edine, Lilia, Arcana. Lastly, tragic dolls. To even speed up battle time or buy some time for your next doll's attack, here are some of the sacrificial characters. Cersivi, Aradicia with her unique equipment, Viola, Caspida, and there are probably some more besides them, so this is just some of them. To close off this video, I just want to add one more thing. All the dolls I listed in this video, whether I placed them as damage dealers, support, or as sack units, wherever they're placed, it's not their definitive role. It's just one way to use them. And those team setup I showed earlier are kind of like outlines, you know? You can tinker with it, see what works best for you and your gameplay style. And yeah, hopefully you found this video helpful. If there is a point when it comes to team formation that I missed, I guess feel free to fill in the gap or point it out. Maybe I can talk about it in another video. And yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching the video.